team.
Hey there, this is Malorian, and this is the Orc Tactical Team. And what we're going to be talking about today is about a Wood Elf topic, and it's about something where I really liked it, but others didn't like it. It's almost like the reverse of the Wild Riders. I don't like them, other people like them. It's one of those things where, hey, maybe this is good because if we all like different things, it meant it was a pretty good book. But hey, you know what? I still want to really try and push this forward because you know what I like? I like Glade Riders. I thought that they were amazing, and I don't really understand why other people don't. So I thought today we'd talk about why I love the Glade Riders, and we'll see if I can change your mind. So really what it first comes down to is, to me, Wood Elves are not really the army you take if you want to stand your ground and say, hey, this is the line in the sand. If you cross it, I'm going to kill you. You know, if I want to do that with Orcs and Goblins or Dwarves or something like that. With Wood Elves, I'm all about running circles and shooting you down. It's all about avoidance and getting the Alpha Strike, taking out your key things, and then keeping points away from you. Now, to me, that is the Glade Riders they're like the poster boy of Wood Elves, and at least that style of play. Because really, what are you going to do with these guys? They are going to start an ambush. Now, I gotta say too that when I first did my review on this, I got this wrong. I thought ambush was optional, but it's not. I know for the dwarves, they can come in as ambush, so it's optional for miners. They can start on the board, but if you actually have ambush, you have to start off the board. So okay, you're off the board, and you're gonna lose probably a turn of shooting or something like that. Is that so bad? Is this really that bad of a thing? If you do miss out on shots, well, okay, what does that really mean? You're going to be getting fewer shots on the opponent. They're also going to get fewer shots on you. Remember, we're not taking Wood Elves because this is a I'm going to table you type of army. We're taking Wood Elves because we're saying, hey, I'm going to play avoidance. I'm going to pick out the key targets, and then I'm going to avoid you, and I'm going to win because I have more than 100 victory points than you do. And so if I have to do this over 5 turns, over 6, okay, whatever. That's no big deal. As well, I believe that Alpha Strike is so critical. Let's say you're up against some other shooty army, right? You're up against Empire, you're up against Dwarves, you're up against High Elves, you're up against Dark Elves, something with a lot of shooting where if they shoot you first, your toughness 3 guys with almost no armor are going to get slaughtered. If you have all these guys here coming in from ambush, you're guaranteed to get the first strike. Your guys come in for ambush, you're going to go and try and target their shooters, and once you take those down or cripple them, well, then you're set, right? You've got your points, so you're ahead by those 100 points, plus they can't really retaliate, right? Normally, the only way they're going to be hurting you is through shooting or magic missile, some sort of ranged element. So if you get the Alpha Strike coming in from ambush and shooting those guys down, well, you are in a fantastic position. Plus, there's another great thing about ambush, which is the whole idea that you can get the jump on their war machines. Like I talked about in my review, normally before you need to try and do this with, say, like an eagle or the warhawks or something that would actually fly over the opponent to really get to those war machines. Well, the Glade Riders, they just ambush from the side behind your lines, and hooray, let's go get those war machines. So, yeah, they have it pretty good there. There's also something as well that I really think can't be underestimated when you have these ambushing units. And that's the whole idea that your opponent has no idea where they're going to go. It's not like with some other armies where it's like, well, you know, the miners, they might come over here, but they can't charge the turn they come on, so I can kind of react to it and I can deal with it. Well, no, I mean, the Glade Riders, they can't charge when they come on, but that's not their whole shtick anyway. They're there to shoot. They're going to come on, they're going to be shooting down their chaff, they're going to be starting to shoot down your bunker. You know, if needed, they could come in and redirect. You know, they are just fantastic for just doing that. As soon as they're on the board, they're going to be having an effect. And I don't want to get into the type of arrows you want to put on them. I'm going to have a separate video where I'm going to be talking about that again. But really, I just see them as being fantastic for that. Now, they also take up your core. So what you could do is take up all 25% of your points for core, put them all in your Glade Riders, and then maybe even more. You know what? I have no problem. If you want to put 50, 75% of your points in Glade Riders, I think that would work just great. But let's picture this. You have an army that's made out of, from your core, all Glade Riders. So there's your core right there, like 30 Glade Riders or 40, whatever. Then past that, you have your Way Watchers, you have your Scouts, you have, well, stuff that they just don't know where it's going to go, right? Your characters can be the Way Stalkers, and really at the beginning of the game, at deployment, you are putting down almost nothing. You know, the vast majority of your force isn't even on the table, and you're saying, go ahead, deploy your stuff, go ahead, you know, deploy. And then from that, you're able to place down your scouts wherever you want to have them, and then as well, the ambushers get to come on after that, and you are then getting to just look at their deployment and decide for yourself how you want to pick it apart. Now, unfortunately, you can't have everything in reserve. Actually, I guess with the way Stalkers, you could actually have an army that does start with absolutely nothing, although you probably want to have some magic, and that's been one of the complaints, saying, well, I don't want to take my mounted level 4 or whatever because they can't join the Glade Riders because they'll be off an ambush, and my character is just kind of standing around with nothing to do. Well, luckily for you, they came out with this new unit called the Sisters of the Thorn, and they're like the perfect bunker for your mounted character. You know, not only do they have the whole, 4+ ward, so they're very, very tough to kill. Just with some like vagrant, a few arrow shots or something. They'd have to dedicate a lot to get through this bunker. They're also your Laurel Life Wizards as well, and they can be healing you up. So they're a pretty nice thing to stand in, and then even if you don't take a massive unit, and if you do lose a few, as soon as the Glade Riders come in, you just zoom over and you join them anyway. So, like I said, I mean, that army right there to me is the epitome, the poster boy of what Wood Elves to me should be like. Avoidance and just really working and breaking you down with the ambush and the first strike, and I just love them. So there's my spiel. I realize there's going to be people that still don't love them, and it's probably because they just don't play to that style, right? Like I said, Wood Elves can be played lots of ways. You can even do a combat Wood Elves now, and I can see even there, even if you're running a combat Wood Elf army, the Glade Riders are still worthwhile because, like we talked about, they're very good at going after the war machines. If you're running combat stuff, you still don't like being shot by cannons and mortars and grid throwers and all the rest of it. Well, okay, at least take a unit of 5. They'll ambush on, and they can go after those war machines. And at the same time, they can be trying to shoot down some other chaff or whatever. They're still going to get their job done for a pretty cheap price. I mean, you could always still try and go after the war machines with the 50-point eagle or something like that, but then, of course, you're trying to find the way to trick your way over the lines. It's not like the opponent's just going to march up and let you fly over for free, right? An experienced player is going to be watching for that, and they're probably going to be targeting the eagle too, right, for a couple of turns before you get in there. For the Glade Riders, no, they just come on from ambush and set up and say, hey, you have 1 turn to try and kill 5 guys, or I'm charging your war machine. And then it's basically useless. So really, to me, no matter what army you're trying to run, at least some Glade Riders would make sense. And for my part, when I'm doing an avoidance, like I say, 40 Glade Riders, yeah, that seems like a no-brainer to me. And that's going to be the bulk of my army. So there you go. That's Glade Riders. Hopefully it's going to make you guys give another second thought to them. And thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later. Bye.